to the Americana Bistro Grill. I'm your host, Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, serving you the best in Americana music. We have right now one great singer from the Midwest, because we're doing a lot of the Midwest. Jordan Danielsen. We're gonna invite him right now, and let's see if I got it right. Let me see. Okay, we're inviting him. The rest, let us see. Okay, we're here. We're hoping that. Hello, Jordan. For me, it's a pleasure and an honor having you here.
Hey, thank you so much. Happy to be here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great.
The reason why I'm doing here because we in the Americana Bistro Grill, we do country and rock and Americana music, and you're one of the greatest in Americana music and country music.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Before we get started, I want to congratulate you on your cover of one of my favorite songs, The Garden Party by Ricky Nelson.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
I loved it. You did it with another interpreter. What was her name?
Her name was Carolyn Johnston.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
One day she has to do the show because you two did a really great rendition of The Garden Party.
Thank you.
Just like, in spite of my name, I'm originally from the Midwest too. I was born in Ohio.
Okay. Awesome.
But we wanted to start. You were born in Colorado and you were raised in Iowa.
Correct.
Okay, how did you come to Iowa later in life or earlier in life?
Oh, when I was real young, when I was just a baby.
Okay, so you had most of your musical influences like from Iowa.
Yes.
Great. Could you at least tell us how was the beginning of your career, the present, and the future of your career? How you got started, what do you have right now, what do you have in the future?
Well, when I was younger, when I was just a teenager, I started writing songs, and I cut my first album when I was 18. Right before that, I was in a youth singing group where I learned how to play guitar, and we got together two times a week. There was probably 100 of us in this group. It was called Spirit Inc. And when I got to the age of 21, I started open mics, and I was hosting 2 or 3 of those a week, and also started playing gigs. So I was doing that for a while, and then I ended up landed myself every Friday and Saturday night gig up at a resort. I was the house band at a place called Eagle Ridge in Galena, Illinois. And I did that for 5 years and I was hosting open mics on Sundays and Tuesdays. So I was doing Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so that's when about that time that I quit my job. I was making more money playing music. And so that was, quite a few years ago, 20 years ago at least. So after I got done, it was about that time I released my first album, Night Alone in the City, and I ended up going to college and majoring in music business and also jazz studies. I played jazz drums in the jazz band and then also bass in the jazz band. I learned how to read music, learned how to use Pro Tools and studio stuff. And I put my second album out in 2014, and that was called Old Soul. And I've just been playing about 250 shows a year in the last 20 years, and I just started working a lot more in the studio, working on my producing skills, and I'm hoping on putting on a new single every month this year. So
great. I saw some of the videos from Night Alone in the City and Old Soul. Really very creative. I love it.
Thank you.
What inspired you to do? I'm gonna ask you about the 2 albums. What inspired you to do Night Alone in the City?
Night Alone in the City was just a combination of songs that I had written from the time I was young. I was playing with a band at that time called Jordan Danielsen and the Great Space Coasters. And that's who I did that album with. So it was the people that I was working with and all the songs that I had written up to that point. And it took me 3 years to record that album. I worked hard and it turned out good. I'd like to remaster it, make it better at this point, along with Old Soul as well, so.
Yeah, before I talk about Old Soul, the reason why I asked about Night Alone in the City, you said it took 3 years to do it. It's a masterpiece. Most of the greatest albums, like take 2 or 3 years to make, they become a really masterpiece, and I hope to see it remastered. How was your experience with this? How was your experience with the Space posters?
Oh, it was great. We headlined a couple festivals together, and they were all good friends of mine. So a lot of those songs were we were a house band on Sunday nights for the open mic. So that's how that band kind of came about. And just late night, drunken nights at the open mic, playing songs, that's what that all came from. That's definitely my most rockin' album. It's bigger. I was going to college at that time, and I have a whole horn section on a few of the songs, which I actually took a private study in college with my instructor, who played with people like B.B. King and Ray Charles, and we wrote those horn lines together, and then we went into the studio and laid them down with other people in the jazz band. So
great. Now your other album, Old Soul, and what was the inspiration for Old Soul?
Like I say again, it's just kind of the combination of songs that I put into that. All those songs were, at that time of my life, I was really into genealogy and looking at my past. So it's kind of it's an Old Soul album. It's kind of old timey. It's a little bit more laid back. There's some fiddle in it. There's a song about my third great grandfather who came from Scotland in 1840. There's a song about the Mississippi, relationships, all that kind of stuff. It was kind of more of an introspective album, definitely.
And you're also going to remaster Old Soul 2 as well.
Yes.
Okay, another question. You also worked with a musician called Jeff Spradley.
Yeah.
How's working with Jeff Spradley? Tell me about your experience of working with Jeff Spradley.
Well, I met Jeff at an open mic many years ago. I've been playing with him maybe 7-8 years. We kind of lose track. I'm not so good with my years.
Don't worry. I'm just simply asking the questions because my public wants to know more about you, Jordan Danielsen, and they also want to know about Midwestern country music, because we've done the Rocky Mountains, we've done the South, we've done New England. And in addition, I've done all of that. The Midwest, we also wanted to cover the Midwest. We wanted to cover all of America. And the Midwest, I have a more personal interest. Having been born in Ohio, I figured it would be an injustice if I covered all the regions of the United States and I left out the Midwest. I already covered 2 groups from Ohio, so I'm trying to give everybody all the help and give him all the publicity, because we have a worldwide program here with the Americana Bistro Grill.
Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you doing that. We've got a lot of great musicians here in my area. This is an area called the Quad Cities, and there's a lot of great songwriters and musicians here in this area. When I met Jeff, we just clicked right away. I was playing a gig that night that wasn't always the most fun gig, and I wanted somebody to do it with me because I play a lot of solo shows. So he sitting with me, and he played the djembe and sang great harmonies with me all night. And from that point in time, I said, man, you're hired, I want somebody, I don't know if you know who Jason Mraz is. He works with the guy in Toca Rivera, and I kind of wanted that sound, somebody who played percussion and sang harmonies, And after a while, the djembe started hurting his hands, and we went to a snare drum and a kick. We were using a guitar case for a kick drum for a few years. And then when I started going to college and playing jazz drums, we started switching up to where I would play drums and he would play guitar and sing. And we just, we played hundreds and hundreds of shows together, and we know each other well. We know how to read each other, and we put on some good shows. So
Great. I'm very happy with you with that. You said you were into jazz as well. How have you been able to reconcile jazz and Americana or country and rock music with jazz?
you know what? Honestly, I never really looked at myself as a certain genre because I'm very much into so many different kinds of music. You know, I grew up in the 90s where, you know, I was listening, well, before that I was listening to thrash metal when I was young in junior high school. You know, I was listening to really heavy stuff, and then the 90s came along, I was into grunge and all that, and at that point in time, the music of the 60s and the 70s was really popular with kids. Just like right now, the 90s music is really popular with kids, you know. So I was listening, that's when I started listening to Bob Dylan and Van Morrison and The Doors, like I say, Dire Straits. Those are all huge influences on me. I was never, honestly, a huge country music fan when I was growing up, but I was always playing an acoustic guitar, so... And I have a lower voice, and so people were like, "Oh, you're a country singer, man. You're a country singer." I kind of fought for a while, but I just went with it. And so with the jazz that you're talking about, when I wanted to study jazz, I always really was interested in the chord progressions in jazz and how they put that stuff together. So when I write a song, I really don't write it as a country song or something. I try to use new chords and new progressions and everything that I do. So the jazz helped with that, definitely, and learning new jazz rhythms and just, it all helps. It just goes into one, you know what I'm saying? So.
Great. And in addition, you talk about Bob Dylan and the Doors being your influence. How were they a big influence?
I think if you listen to the Doors, the instrumentation and you know, in the Doors is amazing. Jim's personality and his lyrics, Ray Manzarek's piano, Robbie Krieger's guitar licks. I mean, it was all amazing. You know, they put on a show. It was cabaret, and Bob Dylan, his lyrics, of course, and just the way that his music made me feel. So.
Great. Have you ever done any other, besides Iowa, have you ever done other concerts outside of the Midwest or outside of Iowa?
Yeah, I played in Nashville this last year. I played up in Upper Michigan quite a few times, Boulder, Colorado, and then, like I say, I'm going to be in Florida, Indian Shores, Florida, in April this year. So I get around. I have a 17-year-old son, and I'm a single dad, so I can't always just take off to the other side of the world, you know, but it's getting closer to where it'll be easier, and I've been building my business to be able to do that over the years.
Don't worry. I hope one day to see you in Florida this April. If not, you should come to Florida Keys. I live in Miami, but I live in the countryside. I live a stone's throw away from the Florida Keys.
Do you make it to the Florida Keys often?
Yep, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like about an hour from Florida Keys. We have two conventions. We have the Key Largo Original Singer Songwriter Festival. I think they have it every October, and then there's the Key West Singer Songwriter Festival every May, where everybody from the world and the 50 states go there.
Cool. Yeah, I have a friend down there. Her name is Claire Finley, and she's a bass player. She also plays with Playing for Change. I don't know if you've ever heard of that organization.
I've heard of them.
She's kind of a bigwig down there. She does a lot of the booking, and she plays in probably 20 different bands or something. So try to make it down there and check her out, definitely.
I'm going to be doing that, but one day when you're in Florida, try to come down and take a look and make a concert or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be, like I say, I have this show in Indian Shores, and hopefully that'll get me back there again. And it's all just one show at a time, you know, meet at a time. And so it's, you know, hopefully it'll build to that, because I definitely hate the winter here in Iowa.
Don't worry, I left the winter in Ohio a long, long time ago.
I don't blame you.
I left the winter in Ohio a long time places I've been in, Europe and some areas of South America where there's heavy winters. No, there's nothing like sunny Florida.
Well,
Yes. How do you see music, especially independent music in Iowa and the Midwest? I asked this question because yesterday I saw the Midwest Country Music Organization Awards.
yeah, I'm a member of the Midwest Country Music.
Yeah, and I love seeing the awards. I love seeing the artists performing. And I wanted to see, how do you see independent music in Iowa and in the Midwest?
I think there's a lot of great art here, just like there is, mostly everywhere. I feel the independent music, it's starting to pick up. Being able to do it on your own. There's a lot more avenues to do it. I wouldn't say it's easy to make money doing it. I make most of my money performing. And in this area, there's a lot of venues and a lot of people playing music. So that's, it's good. And hopefully more people will start recording their own originals as well.
And we're going to be promoting your originals because I already made it a personal promise myself after the COVID pandemic that if I already promoted all the other areas of America, that I was going to promote the Midwest. And you're not only are you invited to come back many times. I hope one day we can do a personal interview. But if one day you make another album, go for it. We're going to give you all the publicity here at the Americana Bistro Grill or in my other program, the AG News Show, which is more open to all other genres and non-genres. We're open to all independent music because we want to promote all the artists.
Awesome.
And if you know everybody in MCMO, or for those who do not understand MCMO, Midwest Country Music Organization, by all means, come one, come all. We have an open door policy.
Well, thank you. That's a great organization. It's for $50 a year. You can join it, and you can get your music played on all of the radio stations that they play their show on. It's the Midwest Country Music Original Show. So every time I send a song in, PT Thomas, he usually puts the stuff on the show, and it's on radio stations all over the Midwest here, through Michigan and Iowa and Minnesota and Wisconsin. So it's good.
Yeah, we also hope to invite PT over as well and invite all the other artists that are associated with MCMO.
Yeah,
So we can listen to our program. I've already sent letters to them. I'm also saving up money myself because I don't make much money doing this. I'm doing this out of the love of art. I don't make any money of this. This is out of the love of art. I'm hoping to save a little bit of more money to be a member of the MCMO. Not because I'm an artist, because I don't sing, but in order to promote some of the greatest artists that have been coming out of the Midwest, including you.
Well, thank you. I sure appreciate it. And I know that all the other artists appreciate that too, because, we need people that listen and love the music, or else we're just playing for ourselves. So.
No, I'm listening. I love the music. I even get some of the lessons from the music. I even enjoyed some of the videos.
Awesome.
Especially the one in which you did the garden party, which is one of my favorites.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. That's good.
Without much, I just wanted to wish you the best. And I wish you the best in Iowa, and come to sunny Florida to visit. That's all I can say.
Sounds good. You want me to play a song today before?
Go ahead and play. Go ahead and start playing. Play anything from your album.
All right. Well, I just released this single here. Hopefully we're in tune. And in January, this is a song called Half Moon Bay. I don't know how it'll sound over this platform. Sometimes it gets a little choppy, but we can try it, right?
After this one, after Instagram, I'm gonna be converting this interview to my MP4 converter and make it and polish it around YouTube and all my other platforms.
Awesome. Excellent.
So start playing.
All right. but I think I can quit with these blues. With a rock and roll mama like you. And as the tide rolls in up on Half Moon Bay, won't you send a little ocean breeze my way? Glad I looked up your number. It's good to find somebody else who likes to stay up late and just conversate about whatever might come to our minds. We'll stick to things that make us feel fine. I look my heart to what might come down the line. With a rock and roll mama like mine. And as the tide rolls in up on Half Moon Bay, won't you send a little ocean breeze my way? Though you're not here beside me, you've been helping me through. You could confide in me, and I could confide in you. You be my rock and roll mama, I'll be your rock and roll daddy, and we'll take our time with each other on the line. You keep the sunshine shining. You know, I think that you've been pining for me. Well, you've been thinking about what might be with a rock and roll daddy like me. And as the tide rolls in up on Half Moon Bay, won't you send a little ocean breeze my way? Now won't you send it my way? All the way from Half Moon Bay. Ooh yeah. Now won't you send it my way? All right. All the way from Half Moon Bay.
Thank you very much, Jordan.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you here. And to everybody here in the Americana Bistro Grill at the AG News Show. We had a history, our program had a history. I was once the host of the Americana Bistro Grill at AMI Radio. AMI Radio was a radio station in Bradenton, Florida, Anna Maria Island. But when the owner died, or went to be with the Lord, they allowed me to take the Americana Bistro Grill with me, and I placed it on my blog with the AG News Show. That's why I told you about the YouTube and all the other platforms, which definitely we're going to be placing it here. And I want to thank you for coming to be interviewed here and playing your music. We love it a lot here. We hope more country artists and jazz artists or any other artists from the Midwest to come and be interviewed by us, especially those in the MCMO. We're glad to have everybody. I saw the awards and everything, and I loved it. And we need the Midwest because we can't have America without the Midwest.
It's true. It's the heartland.
And I was born in the heartland. It doesn't justice. I want everybody coming. We're one country, and we should be having the Midwest here being represented music-wise also. And we just had one of our first representatives, which is you. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me. I sure appreciate it.
My best wishes to everybody. And I'm going to leave with this. Peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. That's our closing signal from the Americana Bistro Grill and the AG News Show. You take it easy and keep writing those songs.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.